Jai Guru has given a nice introduction, and I have also come here quite eagerly. But as all of you know, and you have heard, whoever has heard or watched yesterday's proceedings of Gurupoornima program, you know that my voice is not good. So, I don't know how much I'll be able to speak and till when where I will reach. It's one thing that I will not be able to chant shlokas at all. Always shlokas has been my inspiration, and chanting them with the bhava, feeling each word, which the meanings, understanding the meanings and feeling the meanings of each word in oneself. I have been chanting the shlokas, and for some time now I'm not able to chant. Not some time, actually it's nearly 1 year. One day somebody told me that, "Ma, oh, how do you feel? You're not able to chant. You used to sing so well and you chant so well. Oh, we feel so sorry." And you know what I really feel? There is one song, Rabindra Sangeet, where the poet says, addressing the Lord, "Amar mukher katha tumhare naam diye dao dhuye, amar nirabataye tumhare naamti rakho thuye," which means, when I am speaking, O Lord, let my speech, my words be flooded only with your name. And if I have to remain quiet and silent, that silence also, let it be filled with your name. That has been my feeling, my attitude. And though I have given that the topic is given as sadhana, I think my sadhana has been this all along, ever since I have stepped into this path. And so many years have passed. My sadhana has been to be filled with God presence, to be filled with the touch of the soul. While I am acting, while I am walking, while I am sleeping, while I am eating, whatever I do, let me be filled with the presence of the Lord. Let me feel my soul always. That has been my sadhana. I don't remember now what I felt as sadhana. I knew that this life, it has some higher purpose, because all that we do every day, it doesn't fulfill us. Even in this spiritual path, whatever we do, we may have spiritual practices, we may be reading, listening, meditating, all that. But still, I think everybody feels there is something more to be attained. What is that? That has been the sadhana, that has been the focus. So, whenever I'm asked to speak, I'm always speaking on sadhana. I always feel that is what is that? Doing which we will be reaching the goal. And what is the goal itself? So many books we read, so many lectures we hear, and we in the ashram, we are so fortunate to be at the feet of the Guru, listening and listening to him. But what is that by doing which we become like him, unaffected, all-loving, fearless? How to reach there? That is the question. So, I understood that in the path of sadhana, one thing is absolutely necessary. What is that? Generally, the mind will be in many things. Because the world is such and our senses are such, it constantly takes us to different objects and we find pleasure in enjoying. So right in the beginning, I understood the thought of God does not remain in the mind. How long can we think of God? We may meet, we may meditate, we may do some bhajan, we may read books or listen to lectures, but the mind goes away to the worldly objects. So what is to be done? So I understood that a habit has to be there. A practice has to be there. The mind will go, no doubt, but the mind has to be brought back to the soul, brought back to the center, in whichever way we can. And that is the sadhana. As I progressed further, I understood that sadhana will be easier if we can go beyond our likes and dislikes, raga and dvesha. Because this raga and dvesha, the likes and dislikes, they bring in agitation and disturbance to the mind. And that is why we are not able to fix our mind on God. So that became the sadhana. And that sadhana intensified when I came at the feet of the Guru. When I came here at the feet of the Guru, I understood that introspection, why I am having raga and dvesha, is absolutely necessary. So that introspection took most of the time of the day, while working, while being active, while sitting quietly, while listening to Swamiji, and whatever he said, introspecting on that, ruminating on that. Vichara took a greater part of the sadhana. I remember when I came here, one day, I think within few days, Swamiji gave me a chit, a paper, in which, in his own handwriting, he had written down few slokas, about 30 of them, and he said, these are from Vivekachoodamani. Till that time, I had not heard of Vivekachoodamani. He said that you may read these verses and learn them, try to memorize them. We had the book. We had bought the book and kept, but I have never gone through it. It is a book from Ramakrishna Mission, where even the word meanings and anvayas were given. And once Swamiji gave me the list, I started reading them. Slowly, many texts came to hand, remaining here. I had great blessedness to see many books about which I had only heard. Yoga Vasishta Ramayana, Vivekachoodamani, Aparoksha Anubhuti, and in Swamiji's satsangs, he would take up these slokas. He would talk to us and take up many slokas. At one time, he started taking Vivekachoodamani also. That was in Delhi. When the Delhi Center CIRD came up, Swamiji started taking Vivekachoodamani. Now, why I thought of taking Vivekachoodamani now? When the Gurupoornima Retreat was about to happen, and many of the devotees who were outside, all of you, some of you, have been telling Nuthan Swamiji and Namrata that we didn't hear Ma. Ma has not been talking. In the weekend satsangs, only Swamiji and Nuthan Swamiji mainly have talked. In fact, I was taking night satsang every day with the few people who are here. And there also we were going through sadhana. So when I heard that we'll be getting 7 days to speak, generally during the retreat we get 3 days each, myself and Nutal Swamiji. When I heard 7 days, I was asking others who are here, on what shall I talk? Can you tell me? So immediately came a reply, you should talk on Krishna. Krishna's pranks and Krishna's life. It's a very, a topic which is very dear to my heart also. And then some others said, no, you talk on sadhana. As you have been taking the night classes, in similar manner, you let us know what is the sadhana, where we have obstacles, how to go beyond the obstacles, what more introspection we have to do. You please tell that. So I was thinking with what is to be done. And then I thought that I'll speak on both. In fact, I'm going to tell you, whatever comes to my mind, I will speak. Whatever comes to my mind, my whole life has been a sadhana. Sadhana at the feet of the Guru. I feel I'm so blessed that from young age, it has been only Guru Sannidhi and a life at Guru's feet. So I can tell only that. But still, I felt, because it is Gurupoornima and this Vivekachoodamani, it is the last composition of Shankaracharya. And here he has given, in nutshell, everything of the Upanishads. And it is a very beautiful setting. When I started reading it, and later when Pujya Swamiji also started taking Vivekachoodamani in CIRD in the early mornings, 7 o'clock or so I think, he used to take the classes. So the setting itself, sitting at the feet of the Guru and listening to it, where the Guru is giving reply to the Shishya's quest. And what is the quest? The Shishya comes and tells that, oh Lord, I feel that I do not know which way to progress. In this worldly life, so many times I feel doubtful, confused, so many adversities I have to face, so many dukkhas. Sometimes I feel as if I am being blown away by a storm. Sometimes I feel as if I am getting drowned. And I don't know where to turn to. Who will tell me what I am supposed to do? So I have come at your feet. Please tell me by what I will go beyond all these affectations and afflictions. The setting is such, and the manner in which the Shishya talks, the Guru replies, and the Guru keeps on talking. It is very touching. And many, many, many slokas are there which gives us what is this sadhana. And one thing which comes out is we have to have viveka and vairagya. If we want to be unaffected, if we want that we remain even in the face of affectations, then we must have viveka and vairagya. And in which manner? It's not that we have a little bit today, a little strongly tomorrow. Not like that. We must have a burning yearning, a zealous yearning to know what is this knowledge by which I will be absolutely happy always, peaceful always, unaffected always, loving always. So what is that? I think in most of these texts, whether it is Vivekachoodamani, even in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking Sri Krishna, when he is feeling so nervous, so dejected, so despondent, so fearful, he just takes the position of a Shishya and says that whatever is Shreya, please tell me. If we read Ashtavakra Samhita, there also the Shishya is asking the Guru. In Yoga Vasishta Ramayana, it is so. Vasishta is advising Rama. In Bhagavatam, you take, Parikshit is asking that when death is imminent, then what should we hear, what should we remember, what we should worship, and what is our duty. Please tell. So that is everywhere. Whenever we step on this path, our mind should have these questions. That what is this life? I am listening. Say for all of us, all of you who are listening through the internet, and all of you who are sitting here in my front, we know a little bit of this path. We know what is the aim. We have been listening, we have been reading, we have been learning shlokas, we have been ruminating, doing meditation. But do we have that yearning by which we say that how to reach that ultimate goal? How to increase that yearning? We may be active. I'm not talking of householders alone. The inmates, the renunciates, throughout the day we are active. In that activity also, do we have a feeling always that through all this, I have to reach my goal? And that is knowing the self, knowing God. How do I do that? So this is my goal. Now, in Vivekachoodamani, I'll come first to the third verse. Can you chant? I generally start my lectures with a shloka. As I said, the shloka I'm not able to chant, but I will tell Nandita to chant the shloka. Swamini Namaste.
Swamini Namaste Natalokabandho Karunya Sindho Patitam Bhavabdho Mamuddharatmiya Kataksha Drishtya Rijvyati Karunya Sudhabhivrishtya Swamini Namaste Swamini Namaste Swamini Namaste Swamini Namaste.
Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So we'll come to the third sloka, which says, Durlabham trayamevaitad devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samshrayaha. We'll first chant this sloka and you repeat.
Durlabham trayamevaitad
Durlabham trayamevaitad
Devanugraha hetukam
Devanugraha hetukam
Manushyatvam mumukshutvam
Manushyatvam mumukshutvam
Mahapurusha samshayaha
Mahapurusha Samshrayah.
So, this shloka says, I think many of you know this shloka. And I would say that it is not enough to know this shloka. One has to feel about this shloka. It's a beautiful shloka. Beautiful means we are blessed to see that such shloka really depicts our lives. What is that? There are three things, trayam, adulavam, rare. Three things are very rare in this life. What is this? Manushyatvam, that is the human birth. That we are human beings. It is very rare. We could have been born to be insects, birds, other things, reptiles and whatnot. But God has given us this human birth. And what is the difference between other births and the human birth? We have got mind and intelligence. We have got the intelligence to understand what is good for us and what is bad for us. Good means what? Not only the ordinary good and bad. What is ultimate good for us? Gaining which we will be fearless, unaffected, and always peaceful in life. That intelligence we have got. Then, having had this human birth, we must just live. But there is one more rare thing. What is that? Mumukshutvam. That is the yearning for liberation. Now, what is this liberation? What is this yearning for liberation? It is called mumuksha, mumukshutvam. Mumuksha is the word. Mumuksha is the yearning for mukti. What is mukti? Mukti means liberating, getting liberated from whatever we are bound with. It can be our traits, it can be our attachments, it can be anything which makes us bound, makes us feel constricted, and because of that binding, it leads us to sometimes sorrow, sometimes anger, sometimes depression, all these things. So, whatever brings about a disturbance or agitation to the mind, and which are shackles of the mind, to get beyond that is mukti. Ultimately, if we try for getting liberated from the shackles of the mind by our sadhana, ultimately we will see that the mukti is in understanding that we are the soul and not the body. Because these disturbances are created by the body-mind-intelligence complex. Although our true identity is, I am the soul, which is imperishable, which is changeless, which is undecaying, birthless, deathless, eternal, unaffected, it is fearless. Although I am that, I don't understand that. I am always feeling that I am constricted or limited by my body, mind and intelligence, what I call as my name and form. I am limited by that. And by this mistaken identity, whenever we identify with the body or the mind or the intelligence or the ego, whatever are their nature, I behave like that. And that is why we get agitated, disturbed, afflicted. I think most of you know all these things. Now, this moksha, to be able to go beyond my traits which disturb me, that yearning should be very, very strong. Because these traits alone are disturbing me. And I am not able to understand myself that I am the soul which has no movement, which the soul which is unfragmented, which is eternal, How will I know? And why don't I know? I do not know. I do not come to know because my mind is veiled by these traits, good traits and bad traits. When something good happens to me, say I am very loving. So somebody says, oh, you are very loving. So immediately the mind gets elated. Or, oh, you are very efficient. Mind gets elated. And somebody criticizes me, mind gets depressed. So we are not able to see the soul because our soul does not get revealed because of these impurities or defects in the mind. Taints of the mind, traits of the mind. So our yearning to get rid of that, to make us more purified, so that ultimately I understand that I am the soul and not this body-mind intelligence complex, that is mumuksha. And mumuksha must increase. I am very sure all of you who are listening to these talks and have been listening and reading, and you have some spiritual pursuit, there is mumuksha in all of us. But what kind of mumuksha? Are you doing anything to increase your mumuksha? Are you read somewhere where you feel that, yes, I have mumuksha, but you have already become complacent that I have got into this spiritual path. I am quite okay now. Earlier I used to get very agitated. I would react to everything always. I would shout or I will easily become depressed. And now I find, after treading this path, after listening to these lectures, spiritual lectures, and meditating for some time, ruminating over what I read, I have become much better. Have you stopped there? Have you become complacent? Do you feel that, yes, my life is quite spiritual now? Early morning I get up, I do this, I do that. I spend quite some time reading and meditating. Is that enough? Or do you need to increase your mumuksha? See, these introspections, these questions should always haunt you. I want to tell you that these should haunt you. So in this sloka, Shankaracharya right in the beginning is saying that three things are rare. What is that? First, your body. We should feel blessed that we have this human body. And having this human body, should we allow it to go waste? No. He's trying to say what we should do. So Manushyattvam, Mumukshutvam you must have. And suppose we have both. Yes, we have Manushyata also and we have got Mumukshutta also. But the third must grace us. What is the third one? Mahapurusha Samshraya. What is this Mahapurusha Samshraya? The association, the close association with a Mahatma, with a Sadguru, with whom, sitting at his feet, you can listen to him. Who will tell you what is this mumuksha? How you can grow in mumuksha? What is the end of this mumuksha? And what should be the aim of your life? He will tell you again and again about the Atma, that you are. That identity, which is your real identity, he will be talking about that. He will, in many ways, try to lead you to that aim, the goal, the destination. And also, he will say how you must be doing your sadhana. He will tell you about God, how to grow devotion for God, how to grow in devotion, how to progress in devotion. All these things he will say. And why this is important, Mahapurusha Samshraya? Suppose you have moksha, you understand that I've got everything in life. I'm quite okay. I have got money. I've got a house, maybe more houses. I've got children who are settled. Nothing I lack. I have got prestige. I'm quite qualified. People say that I'm a good person also with good qualities, but still we feel there is something more to be achieved, something more to be done. We don't feel fulfilled. We don't feel fulfilled. Like in Bhagavad Gita, this sloka, yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha yasmin sthitona dukkhena guruna api vichalyate. What is Krishna saying? That yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha. Attaining that, attaining which no more gain we feel has to be gained. We do not look for any other gain. We are fulfilled. And remaining in that attainment, whatever we have to face, even the greatest dukkha, we do not get afflicted by that. This is from Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter. I don't know the 22, 6.22. So, if we are like that, even a little bit of mumuksha we have, then how to grow in the path? Who will tell? That is why this Mahapurusha Samshraya is necessary. So that is why only when these three things come together, and these three things, Shankaracharya is saying, Devanugraha hetukam, only by the blessing and grace of God, it comes through in one's life. Three things come together only by the blessing of God. So we should be very, very blessed. All of us who read these things, who understand the meaning of these things, who can relate these things to one's own life, and not only that, who have the association of a Sadguru who constantly guides us, we should feel blessed and we should have gratitude in our minds. I think for any seeker, I think many number of times, I tell you, I have told hundreds and hundreds of times, if only as a seeker, we fill our minds as soon as we get up in the morning, we fill our mind with a feeling of blessedness, a feeling of gratitude to God, that we are understanding that there is a spiritual life for us. We are not satisfied by the life ordinarily people live. We know that there is a higher purpose in life, and that we are in the hands of a realized soul, our Guru. If only in the mornings, as soon as we get up, till the time we sleep, every moment, we remind ourselves how blessed we are, how grateful the mind feels because of that. I think we become pure. Nothing else is necessary. Nothing else is necessary. We become pure. Only then the mind becomes completely filled with the touch of God, filled with the embrace of the soul. Embrace of the soul. That is what we want. I started the lecture saying that my sadhana has been to feel embraced by the Lord. You know, when I started reading Bhagavatam, and I was reading Krishna's life, I came across the word Govinda Parirambhitaha. I must have read it and understood it. But once, while Swamiji was giving lecture on Prahlada's episode, when we chanted it and explained it, I was thrilled and my eyes got filled with tears, because that is what my whole heart wanted. And even now, when I am sitting alone, or sometimes just alone, not engaged in any work, I feel that is what has blessed me. Govinda Parirambhitaha. To have a fulfillment by being embraced by the soul. Nothing else. So, this sloka, all of you should remember. Not only remember, you should chant it. If you cannot chant, at least the import of it. And feel very, very grateful to God that how these three things have come together. You know, because of the lockdown, we have not been able to have this Gurupoornima function. And Pujya Swamiji's birthday function also. Many of you used to come. You could not come. We also missed all of you. But in a way, I feel that most of you, many of you, have had the opportunity to sit at the feet of the photograph of your Guru, Pujya Swamiji, decorate the shrine with lot of devotion and love in your own homes. Many of you have sent pictures, how you have decorated. Some have written to me that, Ma, the previous night itself, the few of us in the house, we have been planning how we will decorate the shrine, what all we will do. So I was feeling that even though physically you have not been able to come, and if you had come physically also year after year, I think God has given you this opportunity where you are able to sit with a lot of feeling, as Swamiji also told in his lecture after the Pada Puja, that when the beloved is far away, you think more about him. So like that, when some of the photos I find, they are sitting in front of the shrine, quite absorbed. It gives me a feeling. And when I am taking this loka, this Mahapurusha Samshrayaha, I feel how much we should value this Samshraya, how much we should feel blessed, and we should feel how fortunate we are that we have got a Sadguru in our lives. Now, after that, Shankaracharya is saying that these three things have come together. Now, having had the human birth, if you do not try for mukti, then you are actually committing suicide. What is the sloka? Labdhva kathanchin narajanma durlabham.
Labdhva kathanchin narajanma durlabham.
Labdhva kathancinnarajanma durlabham.
Tatrapi pumstvam shruti paradarshanam.
Tatrapi pumstvam shruti paradarshanam.
Yastvatma muktau nayate tamudhadhihi.
Yastvatma muktau nayate tamudhadhihi.
Sahyatmaha swam vinihantya sadgrahat.
Sahyatmaha swam vinihantya sadgrahat.
So, in this sloka, the fourth one, Shankaracharya is again further explaining it and saying, this rare, durlabham narajanma, that rare human birth, having had that, if you do not, see in this sloka it is written, Tatrapi pumstvam shruti paradarshanam, that is, not only human birth, being men. Earlier days, men only used to read these things, the scriptures, that is why. But now, all of us read. See, Shruti Paradarshanam, having read some of the scriptures, having an interest to pursue this path, if you remain like a fool and do not try, do not make an effort to know your own self, then what you are doing is you are killing yourself. Committing suicide. What a statement. Why committing suicide? Vinihantya asadgrahat. Because you are, even now, you are feeling the objects that you enjoy, that will give you pleasure. The soul which gives continuous joy, that you should look into yourself, you should do sadhana and try to realize the self. Instead of doing that, being a fool, you are finding pleasure in all other things of the world, considering them to be real. See, we always feel that we'll get sukha, happiness, from objects of the world. And we do get also. But we do not introspect and see that all those happiness is short-living. What is the permanent happiness? Neither we question that, nor we make an effort to know that. And even after knowing, we are not giving our full effort to reach that destination where we'll know ourselves. So, he says that by not giving an effort, na yateta, if you are not giving any effort to know yourself, what is happening? You are still remaining mortal. You are not knowing what is immortality. So, he says that you may have these three things, but you must make use of it. You must make an effort. And what is that effort? That effort is the sadhana. I am going to talk about sadhana. How from here we have to understand what is the sadhana and why do we do not progress in sadhana? Why we are having obstacles in sadhana? Doing what? It will be an aid to sadhana, and doing what? It will be an obstacle to sadhana. See, Parikshit asked the question. What did Parikshit ask? Parikshit asked this. He asked Shukadeva, Yat shrotavyam atho japyam yat kartavyam nibhi prabho smartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yadva viparjayam. Yat shrotavyam. Please tell me, my death is imminent. I have only 7 days in my life. See, all of us, we do not know how many days are left for each of us. Days or hours, we do not know. So, this question that Parikshit is asking is relevant to all of us. Yat shrotavyam atho japyam. So, what shall I listen to? Please tell me what I should listen so that my mind comes away from the worldly objects which only distracts my mind, gives me affliction, gives me disturbance. It will come away and will be completely focused on God, on my inner soul, my indweller. Please tell me what I should hear, what I should keep on hearing. Atho japyam, what I should chant. Yat kartavyam, please tell me what is my duty, what I should do now. Smartavyam, what I should remember. Keep on remembering and introspecting. Bhajaniyam va, what I should worship. Please tell me all that so that the mind which is constantly spreading into the objects and getting pleasure from the objects which are themselves impermanent, and not looking for the permanent self or soul or God. Please tell me, by doing what of these, my mind will now at least be focused on my inner soul. And he says, which is very important, Bruhi Yadva Viparyayam. Also tell me what I should not do, which will bring about obstacles to this focusing. I am trying to put my mind in the thought of remembrance of God. In the beginning itself I said, that has been my sadhana. How to remember God always. How to think of Him. How will that day come to me when I will always feel embraced by a divinity. It will not be an effort anymore. It will not be a cry anymore in my heart. But I will be always feeling the divinity, the consciousness around me. Will that day ever come? One has to weep like this. That is mumuksha, the pinnacle of mumuksha. Mumuksha is not that I read the books, all the Upanishads I have read, all Bhagavad Gita I have read, I know all the 700 verses, without seeing the book I can chant them. Mumuksha is whatever these texts, scriptures are telling me, how do I reach there? How do I get united? How do I know myself? How the self gets revealed to me so that I know my real identity? Or how do I get merged in God, who is my indweller? That day has to come. Whatever we do, however we are praised, however we are efficient and we have prestige, name, fame, everything in life, a very good voice to sing, very good way of lecturing, very good followers. But if we have not reached that ultimate, the destination, the aim of all these shrutis and smritis and whatnot, then what is this life for? Are we to do that? Are we going to make an effort? So we must know what is giving us obstacle. This is very important. That is why this Vivekachoodamani is very important. You must have sharp Viveka to understand what are your obstacles. Why is it that I have become complacent? That I have become complacent has to be understood also. If we start feeling very good, everything is okay, then again a question should haunt. What after this? Can I say that I have got liberated? Can I say that I have got God? Can I say that I have got all the qualities which God wants me to have? Can I say all that? And we will see, we'll have to make many tick marks where we have not. So why the complacence? What is the obstacle? Why is it that I am not able to have vairagya? Why is it that my viveka is not becoming sharp? Why is it that still I am in the sway of raga and dvesha? These questions must be there. So he says, Bruhi Yadva Viparyayam. So this is from Bhagavatam, Parikshit's question. And that question should be for all of us. That why is it that my sadhana, does it need to progress more? Why is it that I'm quite okay, I feel? But is there anything more to be done? So in this shloka, Shankaracharya is saying in a very strong terms. What is the strong term? He says, Yastvatma muktau na yateta modhadihi. Modhadihi. He says that he is a foolish person. The one who, having had a human life, Sadguru, everything, he is not making effort to know the self. He is not making any effort. And by not making effort, he remains mortal. He does not know what is immortality. Then in the 6th shloka, this shloka says, Vadantu shastrani yajantu devan kurvantu karmani bhajantu devataha atmaikya bodhena vina vimuktihi na siddhyati brahma shatantarepi. Now this is very strange that I was not able to chant in the beginning, and now by talking I am able to chant also. So this shloka says, whatever you do, you may be preaching, you may be lecturing, you may be worshipping God, great bhaktas with many items they will be worshipping. Or always the mind is towards the temple, going there, doing seva there. Kurvantu karmani bhajantu devataha. And you are doing very good work. Maybe you are doing. But, so you are considered to be a very noble person. Maybe a knowledgeable person. You may be a pandita. But these last 2 lines are very important. Atmaikya bodhena vina vimuktihi na siddhyati brahma shatantarepi. Atmaikya bodhena, unless you understand yourself or you realize yourself, what this self is, that you are not this body-mind complex, limited body, mind and intelligence, that your real identity is that soul. Unless you make effort and self is revealed to you, which you really are, mukti will not be there. You cannot consider yourself to be a mukta. And not being a mukta, what will happen? Don't forget the aim. What is the aim? To understand the real identity of yourself, that you are unaffected. So unless we understand or realize ourselves, we will be constantly under the sway of sukha and dukkha, happiness and sorrow, likes and dislikes, and always we will be afflicted and affected in life, which we do not want to be. We want to be unaffected. We want to be fearless. So, this realizing the self is absolutely necessary. In Bhagavatam there is one shloka which is quite similar to the one that we just now did, 4th shloka. That says, Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahu sambhavante manushyamattadam anityam apiha dhiraha turnam yatetana patetanu mrityavat nishreyasaya vishaya khalu sarvatasyat. It says, Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahu janmamante manushyam. Similarly, what Vivekachoodamani Shankaracharya is saying, that after many, many lives, having had this human birth, the human body, using which you can have all the purusharthas and you can get moksha even. But this human body itself is anitya. Understanding this, a wise person, what he should do, he should not be a mudhadhi, he should not be a foolish one, he should be wise. He should turnam yateta. Immediately he should start making effort to know the self, to know God. Turnam yatetana pated anumrityu yavat. And effort should be till when? Till the body falls. Because you are always being followed by death. When the body will fall, we don't know. So, Turnam yateta. Don't waste your time. Start immediately. Make effort immediately. And try to realize God within or self within. Now let us come to Shloka 8. Ato vimukyai prayateta vidvan.
अतो विमुक्त्यै प्रयतेत विद्वान्
Sanyasta bahyartha sukhasprihas san.
सन्न्यस्तबाह्यार्थसुखस्पृहः सन्
Santam mahantam.
समुपेत्य देशिकम् सन्तं समुपेत्य देशिकम् तेनोपदिष्टार्थसमाहितात्मा
Ato vimukyai prayateta vidvan. Just as just now we saw that in Bhagavatam, it says, Turnam yateta. We must feel very enlightened, not only enlightened, very, very inspired. Turnam yateta. If I look into my life of a sadhaka, the life in spirituality, I have always remained inspired. Always remained inspired. And I would always feel that some more things I must hear or read and ruminate upon to remain inspired. So this inspiration to make effort, why I am saying I was always inspired, I always felt that effort has to be done. If being a seeker, being a devotee, I still find that I am being affected by raga, dvesha, likes, dislikes, sometimes anger, sometimes irritation, sometimes laziness, lethargy. What effort I should make so that I go beyond them? So, ato vimukyai prayateta vidvan. For realization or for liberation, a vidvan, a person who has, all of you are vidvans actually, because all of you who are listening to these talks, you have read some scriptures, some texts, some meditation you have done, you have got a guru, most of you. So, you know this path, you are treading this path, but you must have some kind of more of inspiration, the feeling, that when somebody goes for an adventure or, people go for sightseeing or new places, people will go with lot of inspiration, lots of enthusiasm. That enthusiasm should be there. Enthusiasm should not go down at any time. Other things should not cloud the mind so that this enthusiasm takes a back seat. What is the enthusiasm? For what? Not for worldly things. To attain the goal. So, ato vimukyai prayateta vidvan sanyasta bahyartha sukhasprihassan. For what is the effort you should do? Effort to reach the goal. What kind of effort? Sanyasta bahyartha sukha spriha. The sukha that we get interacting with the worldly objects through our senses. Many things keep on giving us pleasure, and those pleasures are short duration, but it gives pleasure immediately. Say, if you are asked to chant for a long time, like sometimes Swamiji says, no, chant 2.5 hours, and this. Then after some time, I think for my health also Swamiji had asked. Then after some times, some will come and say, Do we have to do it every day? Do we have to, how many days we have to do? So Swamiji was asked this. Last year, when I was very sick, Swamiji asked in the ashram itself, all the visitors and the renunciates who are here, that for Ma's health, because I was in a very critical condition, it seems, you would for 2.5 hours chant Om Namah Sadashivaya, Om Namo Narayana. And I would say, everybody was doing that. Very, very religiously, devotionally, and lovingly. I think the love and prayer of all people, all the devotees around the world has made my health better. So, but just see, somebody came and asked Swamiji, Swamiji, how many days we have to do this? So Swamiji looked at that person and said, as long as it is necessary. Because if it is for somebody's health, till the health revives, you have to do it. But why this question is coming? Because you are finding that it is a waste, or it is a waste of time, or you can do something better. So lethargy, either lethargy or some kind of laziness or some kind of feeling by which you feel that. So when the Guru is saying you do this, still the mind will feel like doing something else at that time. Something else. Because my mind is wanting to do that. Maybe it is doing some work which is pending. But Guru has said you do some chanting here. So that pending work, you'll have to adjust it. Maybe you have to get up a little earlier or sleep a little late for doing the pending work. So this is how we will feel, where we are always not valuing what Guru is saying. Maybe Swamiji has said that you chant it for some reason. For each individual, through that chanting, there will be a growth also. What is the growth? That what my Guru has said, to be doing that. And to be doing it together. He has not said that go and chant in a room individually. He has not said that. He has said together you sit and chant here. So that must be having some meaning. Our Maharaj used to say that the Guru will say something, but each Upadesha will be to take away some knot and different knots in different disciples. He may take up the case of somebody and give say X has asked some question, that please tell me how to get rid of this trait of mine. So he may tell him, but it will be told in such a manner, if the Shishya gives value to that and feels that I should introspect and see whether I also have this trait, then from the Guru's words, each Shishya will be rid of a particular knot which he or she has. So, Sanyasta Bahyartha Sukhasprihassan. We have to stop. I was thinking, when I was coming, I stood at Swamiji's door. He was in his room and prayed. I thought that I call him Posha. So in my mind I said, Posha, if you want me to speak, then let me speak. If you don't want me to speak, then I will come. I will stop wherever I will have to stop. So one day is over. Concluding sloka.
Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nityabodhaswarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranavmi prabuddham vimuktam विकारादिहीनं प्रसन्नं सदा नित्यबोधस्वरूपं परं निश्चलं निर्गुणं सर्वरूपं भजेऽहं सदानुस्मरामि प्रणौमि।